Hello, YouTube. You know what this means? I guess you don't, because it's the first time I'm going to show off all of my graded Batman books. Stay tuned. Okay, YouTube, this is the first time that I am doing this. I wanted to show off my graded Batman comics. I have about 2.5 long boxes of ungraded Batman comics, but these are the only ones that are graded, so I thought I would show them off. Why not? I'm going to start from the earliest to the latest. They're not in any particular order other than age. They're not in particular order because of value. So the only thing that they're in order for, like I said, is their age. So the first Batman is Batman number 12. This is the earliest Batman that I have, and as you can see, it's graded a 0.5. It's a low grade, but it's definitely a cool book. Here's a quick perusal of the back with Uncle Sam and a soldier from World War II and the good old BB gun advertisement. And this is a key book because this is the actual first mention of the Bat Cave, or Batman's underground lair. So it's a significant book, and it's definitely a cool book to have. The next one that I have graded is the book that is right after, Batman number 13. Now, this book is also a very cool World War II cover. Again, it's a 0.5, and there's a Joker appearance in this book as well. And this book came out in October, November 1942. This was August, September 1942. The book is missing a back cover, and it is in poor shape, but I am very happy to have this. And the story behind these two books were that they were actually connected. This book cover and this book cover were together, and they had water damage, so they were stuck together. I was able to separate them, and when I say stuck, they were stuck, but I think I did a pretty good job. Of course, there were some cover loss, but I made 2 books versus 1 book that was stuck together. So there you go, Batman number 12 and Batman number 13. The next Batman book that I have graded is Batman number 15. Now, this book, I think they could have fit it in, I think CGC could have fit this book in a regular holder because I measured the width, but they put it in an actual magazine holder. It is a 0.5, and it does have a backing. So the story behind this book was that I had a 15 without any cover. I was able to purchase a cover alone without the actual book. So I married the cover with the book that I had that was coverless, and it came back a universal grade. So I'm very happy with this. This is a classic book with a Catwoman appearance and her new costume. It's a little anti what Batman stands for in the 70s, 80s, 60s, and that era where he really doesn't use guns or weapons, but I guess the .50 caliber machine gun was something that he can look past during World War II. So this is a cool book to have, Batman number 15. The next one in order is Batman number 18. Now, the story behind this book, again, it's a Frankenstein book, if you want to call it that way. I had a coverless Batman number 18, and that's why, guys, if you're into these old books and I see a coverless book on eBay or any of the auctions, I try to grab them, because you never know when a cover is going to come up for sale and you can marry them. And if you're good at marrying them, you can get a universal grade. So this book I had without the cover, and actually reversed. I only had the cover, and then I was able to find a coverless copy online, which I bought, and I married them together. It is missing the back cover, which is also okay for me because this is a very popular edition with Hitler, Mussolini, and Hirohito, and there is actually a date stamp. So this is definitely a cool book for me to have. The next Batman is Batman number 26, a classic Christmas cover or winter cover. This was from December 1945, December 1944, January 1945. This was one of the first books that I pressed when I received and bought my press about a year and a half ago. I'm not happy with the way I did it. I'm sure if I cracked this book open and I pressed it again, I would get a higher grade. The issue that I did with this book was I put it in the press and it came out. I was like, oh, it looks great. And then I didn't let it rest in the press. I just took it out and sent it off to CGC. I know a lot more since back then, and like I said, this book, I know I can get a grade bump, but we're fine just leaving it alone. I have enough projects. The next book is Batman number 27. This is one of my favorite Christmas covers in the Batman series. It's Batman and Robin with good old Saint Nick. And this book is from March 1945, a 1.5. Again, it is a low grade, but it's definitely a cool book to have. Here is a picture of the back. Again, another BB gun advertisement. Those were the good old days promoting BB guns and guns right from the youth. So there you go. Batman number 27 at a 1.5. The next book is Batman number 28. Now this book I purchased off of eBay, and it did have a lot of tape. I was able to remove it. It was missing the bottom half of the cover, but to me, I'm fine having a book like this. I'd rather have a book at a 0.5 than not have the book itself. It does have the back cover, so basically we're just missing a section of the bottom cover. To me, no problem as long as I have it. The next one is Batman number 32. Now I was surprised when this came back, and it came back as B1 slight color touch, and they're saying that the actually it does not have color touch. The restoration includes tear seals to cover, tape on interior cover. So if I wanted to, I can very easily crack this book, and I'm assuming I'll look on the grader's notes. They're saying that there is some type of tear seal somewhere. I did not put tear seals on this book, which generally consists of some type of glue or adhesive to connect the actual pieces of the cover. I don't recall working on this book specifically, but maybe what happened was there was tape that I removed, and I didn't do a great job in removing all the adhesive, and it sealed back together. That happened to me before with a few Wiz comic books. So there you go, 1.8. If there's no color touch, I don't mind the purple label. Or if it's not trimmed. Trimmed is not good. The next book in my collection of graded Batman books is Batman number 33. Now this is, again, another cool Christmas cover. This is from March 1946. The spine of the cover is completely split. Brittle pages. I would never attempt to try to conserve this book. As you know, I don't like brittle pages in any type of conservation experiments or endeavors, but this is definitely a nice, cool Batman Christmas cover to have. When Christmas rolls around, I take out all my Christmas comics and I display them around the house, in addition to having the traditional Christmas comic, the Christmas decorations. The next book that I have is Batman number 38. a cool penguin cover. Now this here is from December 1946, January 1947. A 3.0 with white pages, very surprisingly with that. And here is the main issue with the book. There is a small chunk missing from the bottom right-hand corner. If that chunk was in there, this book would have graded significantly higher. So this is a perfect example of a really clean and nice condition book, but how the pieces that are missing will impact the grades significantly. So this is a definitely cool book to have. I'm very happy. Bill Finger stories, Jim Mooney and Dick Sprang cover. Happy to have this one. The next one, which I am also very happy to have, and it actually is one of my favorite Batman covers, is Batman number 43. Now this book is from November 1947. If you want, go back to my uploads. I had a few uploads regarding this book because I did purchase it off of an original owner on eBay, and a lot of damage happened to the book in shipping. And they were very nice, giving me a substantial credit. So I think I paid for this book in the high 100s. And this is at a 2.5, is a very sought after book and valuable book. So I'm happy to have this in my collection. Very nice, again, a Daisy Air rifle advertisement in the back. This is definitely a cool Batman book to have, and I'm proud to have it. The next book, which tends to be quite valuable, is Batman number 49. Now, this book is a 1.8. Someone during the lifetime of this book took a hole puncher and made all little holes and actually punched out the bottom of the corner of the front cover. As you can see, there's also a few holes in the back as well, right around here and here. So those holes is what is really dragging down this book. The importance of this book is this is the first appearance of the Mad Hatter and the first appearance of Vicky Vale. So this is a valuable book. It's sought after. It's one of the Golden Age keys in relation to first appearances. The next book that I have is a qualified grade, and that is Batman number 67, The Mystery Rope. Now this is incomplete. There is one page that's detached, and page 24 is missing. It does not affect the story. It's unfortunate because if that page was still in the book, this would be a nice high grade book. Now, it's troubling to me, and I don't have the answer why CGC would grade some books qualified and some 0.5. It's the question of what you would rather have, a 0.5 or a higher green label. To me, it doesn't matter because I'm assuming that if the pieces that were missing were attached, the book would have been a 3.5 qualified. So they're a little tricky, CGC, with how they choose and pick whether to do a qualified or a blue label. I'm sure someone in the comments will explain their feelings of why CGC does this. The next book is Batman number 71, a low grade 1.0. Cover is detached. Classic Golden Age where we're starting to get into the 50s genre, but this is still Golden Age. It's not, doesn't have the comic code seal or anything like that, so it's just a nice low grade to have. The next Batman is Batman number 78. Now this book I had since I was probably in about 9th grade, so if you know how old I am, that's quite some time. The restoration is C1 and CGC said nothing. If you can see what the label says, it basically says slight C1, a restored grade, but they did not designate what type of restoration was on the book. So this just shows that CGC does make mistakes. I did call CGC and they said, oops, we made a mistake. We didn't put the type of restoration that was on the book, and what it was slight color touch. So maybe when I was younger, I put some black on some of the sections of this book. I don't recall doing it, but it's going to stay in the purple label because it's a low grade and it is what it is. The next Batman graded book in my collection is Batman number 83.5. This was on a recent upload. I won this off of eBay. Now, this book I feel is in pretty nice shape, and for some reason it's a 0.5. So I have to take a look at the grader's notes and see what the deal is, why the grade is a 0.5. But as you can see here, this is from 1954, and we're getting into the corny Batman stage of the 50s. Now we're going to fast forward substantially for a few Bronze Age and Silver Age and Bronze books. So this right here is Batman number 227, one of the classic Neal Adams covers, which I really like, a 4.0. Now this also came back as slight restored C1, and the restoration includes small amount of color touch on the cover. I had this book probably from the late 80s. I was the original owner. I don't recall doing color touch on it back then. In fact, I didn't even think about looking for color touch, but it does, and I'm the original owner, at least from the 80s, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I actually think the purple label looks sort of nice with the girl's dress, which is the same color running away from the hounds and that vampire looking dude. So, and if anyone knows, this was Kevin McGill's book. So Kevin McGill, if you're out there and watching, let me know and shoot me a message, because this is your book. The next graded Batman book I have is Batman 232 at a 5.0. And again, this is another classic Neal Adams cover, and this is the first appearance of Raja Ghul. Now, I have a bone to pick with this book, which I never did anything about it, because when I sent this book in CGC for grading, the top staple was attached. It came back detached, meaning the front cover became detached on the top staple. With all sincerity, this staple is placed not on the spine. It actually is a little forward of the spine, so when you open the page, you put a lot of pressure on the staples. Here is actually the staple on the bottom, right here, right next to Batman's cape. So it's understandable that it came loose. In fact, I snuck the staple in underneath the cover underneath the staple. I did it flawlessly, but really I should have wrote a note to the grader that when they open the book to be a little careful. What are you gonna do? We're getting done, guys. The next graded Batman book I have is Batman 251 at a 4.5. Yet another classic Neal Adams book. I had this since the 80s, so I'm happy with having a 4.5. Will I try to upgrade? Maybe, if something comes along in the future, but a 4.5 to me in this book is happy, because guess what? I have it. Now we're gonna come to some modern books. So the last two books we have graded is Batman number 357, which is a 9.0. This is the first full appearance of Killer Croc. If you like Killer Croc, this is a book that you should grab. Also, this is the first, I believe, appearance of Jason Todd, and this book does have an Atari insert, so all you Atari fans out there, I know I was, this is the book to get. The last graded book that I'm going to show off in relation to my graded Batmans is Batman 359. Now, this is the first cover appearance of Killer Croc. This is a 8.0. It's just a cool book to have with all of Batman's rogues in front, almost all of them, and showing off Killer Croc for the first time. So that's all we have right now. And again, like I said, these are only my graded Batman books. I have a tremendous amount. I have, like I said, 2.5 more boxes full of Batmans that I'll send out periodically to CGC to get graded. So if you liked this upload, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see some other CGC collections I have, let me know and I'll oblige. Take care, YouTube, and thanks for your support.